Way too much. Too much light, just enough. Too much? Love this new device though, highly recommend. Amazon, just Amazon, search for an electronic magnifying glass, and for, I want to say this was like 40 to 50 bucks, you can get one of these bad boys. So when you're looking at cards here on the table, you can see what you're doing. I've had quite a week. I'm gonna try to do like the week that was. Let's see if we can figure that out. Tons and tons of eBay. My biggest obstacle there has been working with my eBay person who's remote. They just do all the data entry, and essentially trying to teach them pricing. Very imperfect science, and very much like feel sometimes. I feel like I'm in New York hearing all the sirens. I don't know if they will end up getting it. I think I will just kind of have to lay it out for them. When you work with somebody who's remote and you can't see them in person, and they're doing something that's simple like data entry, you want to make it easy for them. So what I'll do is I'll upload a batch of cards and I'll say these are all in, excellent condition. So I've sorted them ahead of time. That's one less thing they have to think about. Plus they're just getting the photo and they can't see it up close like you can. So I've made that predetermination for them. The other thing I'll do a lot is I'll do the same set. So recently it was 1975 tops. So I just said, hey, these are all excellent condition, all 75 tops. So that's 2 categories. The guesswork is gone. And then I let them do all the rest of the actual data entry, whether they're using AI or they're just doing manual entry. And I'm getting, between 250 and 300 drafts per day. So like I'm looking at my screen right now, I've got 2,860 drafts that I need to push live, but I need to go through and double check. Also, my plow guy just bailed this week. Since this is my building, I'm responsible for maintaining it for myself and the cafe tenant. I haven't heard back from this person in like 4 days, and I'm actually just worried that something happened to them. Of course, at first you're mad, this person isn't responding, they're not showing up. As a professional, you need to not send angry texts or angry voicemails or call them in any kind of tone. You want to get context, you want to find out, what happened, and try to, figure that out. You don't want to blame until you have all the information. But in Maine, we had 2 back-to-back tiny storms, but it adds up, and so I had to pay somebody cash to clean up the lot. And luckily today, thankfully today, it rained, and it's going to keep raining tomorrow, and we'll be in the 40s. So if you're in New England, it's a real issue when you have a building. Cannot have slip and falls. That cannot happen. So I've just been dealing with that. Now having to hire a new snow removal company. What you learn if you run a business is you're doing everything but the core business. And at this stage in year 2, I'd like to be working on the business more than I'm in it, but you're doing both. You're working in the business, so I'm at the register, and I'm working on the business. Biz dev, I'm doing these videos way after we close, at 7:30 when I'm filming this, which is not late at night, but I've had a 12-hour day already. Awesome highlight though today. We hit this AJ Debnza 10 out of 25. There it is. The Bowman U Now AJ Debnza. And you buy these cards, I think about 10 of them at like $8 each. And sometimes you get a lucky hit, sometimes you don't. That's my second 25. The other one is this Cooper, which I totally lucked out on. It was just an amazing, amazing card to hit. So having some good luck with the tops now. That's been really fun. This is the first full week in January in 2026. I'm still writing 2025 on checks and having to fix it. I saw this interview with Ice Cube talking about how everybody wants to get checks. They want to get checks and have checks and make money, essentially, was the point they're getting at. He said very casually, bosses cut checks. And I'm not saying I cut the biggest checks in the world, but every week I'm paying my remote person, I'm paying my intern, my part-time person, I'm paying all the bills on the building, I'm paying for my subscriptions for, like Card Dealer and PSA and all that kind of stuff. Although PSA is probably annual, but you get the point. I'm paying for, my PSA submissions, and I've sent out so many PSA submissions that I'm getting something back almost every 2 weeks. And right now I'm waiting on this big order with a 2000 Bowman Tom Brady rookie, and some other really great cards, a lot of great customer cards. That's been a thing I've added to the mix, is doing a little pre-treatment, a little, prep work, and then sending them out to give them the best chance to get a 10 or get the best grade they can get. Microfiber cloth and a little bit of alcohol water spray. Not gatekeeping the info, just a bunch of y'all do that. A bunch of y'all are on Kurt's Card Care. I've checked that out. That's pretty cool. This week has been a test of me having to wake up early and missing the gym a couple days, so that's been affecting me. And tonight here, I'm trying to do another PSA order before I go home and cut down on the drafts list. My goal is to get to 2,500. I started at 3,200 this evening, so if I can get more of these listed, that'd be great. Tom invited me to the Pats game Sunday, so that's in like less than 2 days. I haven't been to a Pats game all year, so why not start with the playoffs? It never stops. Never stops. You think you're gonna have time to do the things you want without any distractions, and the best way to do that is just limit the distractions. Like, I turn off all the notifications on my apps. So if I'm going in, it's me on my own, but Instagram and Facebook aren't saying, hey, look, you got a comment or you got a notification or a like. If I'm going on my phone too much, it's on me now. Just putting that out there, that's a good way to limit the distractions. And then getting up earlier and staying later. If you're running a business, that's the only time you don't have to interact with clients or customers. Like right now, nobody's calling me, texting me, bothering me, walking through the door. I can just sit here and give you my thoughts. Outlook for 2026. I'm already looking ahead to July for Fanatics Fest and doing some PSA submissions so I can get them back, because they're just way backed up. So I gotta send them now so I can get them by hopefully May or June. Luckily this year Fanatics Fest is in July, and that should give me enough time for maybe another month's worth of sending submissions at the normal, slow rate, the cheapest rate, trying to save money too. So I'm prepping for that. Long-term goal is to hire a full-time employee. I've had some part-time help here and there, and I'm lucky to have my intern Eli here until he goes back to UConn in probably like a week. And he's been sorting, and you can see behind me, just there's so many cards, and most of these boxes are eBay and they're already listed, but everything else has to get listed. And there's only so much time in the day. The best advice I get is, Dave, you're only one guy. You can only do so much in one day in 24 hours, or I usually have like 12 here at the shop, so maximize my 12 hours and then try to get time to go work out and go to the gym. Probably not going to happen tonight, but Tom is opening tomorrow, so I will get to work out in the morning at a bit more of a leisurely rate. Although I do like to be here when someone else is here, because then I can get work done. And my parking situation has just been a nightmare. So been working that out with my brother, trying to figure that out. The growing pains of having successful businesses in this same building, and owning the building and having to make those decisions. When you're the landlord, you have to decide what to do and what's best for the long term, which is getting rents from both the businesses, from both the units. But for now, for the foreseeable future, we are here, Double Play. We're going to keep building. I'm working on a project out on the main floor. Going to have a new rug, more lounging chairs, couches and stuff like that. And then shelving. I want more dollar boxes, more 25-cent boxes, $1, $5, $10, $20. I just want more boxes of stuff that people can look through, because people love that experience. And that is one of my favorite things, like going to a show to attend and looking through boxes. I like that. I think I'm over setting up at shows, because I've put a lot of money into this building and infrastructure and into this business. And I've said this before, but you would, I think, be foolish to be doing lots of shows when you need to be spending your time here perfecting your retail experience. That's all that I think about, is the retail experience. January is a time where you've got to try to plan way ahead and get ahead of the year. If you felt like 2025 you were a little behind, 2026 is your opportunity, especially now, to get organized and get things moving. In the card world, You lose money every time you're unorganized. The best way to make money is be the most organized you can. So if somebody asks you for a card, you can say, yes, we have that, or you know for sure you don't. I like doing PSA submissions because you can make money on the service charge, and you can be upfront, hey, if you do this by yourself, it'll be the normal PSA rate. With me, I charge an extra $15 to $20 per card, just a convenience fee. And you know what? You can find a whole audience that loves that because they don't want to have anything to do with it. And you're transparent, right, about the fees. You're just saying, I charge a service charge for me to take care of your cards, get them prepped, get them wrapped up and boxed up and then shipped, and keep track of the PSA order, right? Once it goes to PSA, there's nothing I can do. But if somebody wants an update, I can say it's in grading or QA or assembly. So it's a good way, I would say, to make some extra money and just be informative with your customer base. You guys don't need to gatekeep information. You should tell customers as much as possible, because when you're the source of information for them, they will come back to you and buy from you. They will trust you. If you are the subject matter expert, I don't mean I'm the expert and I know everything, but compared to someone who's new to the game or just a customer, you are their expert. So don't be afraid to say you don't know something, but when they come back the next time, say, hey, I read up on that thing and I learned how to do this technique, or I learned where you can get these supplies that I don't have. Be helpful, be informative. Your customers will appreciate that. That's how you get repeat business. That's how you get repeat customers and regulars. So I've just been doing the consistent little things. Do the little things really exceptionally well, and you will succeed. We did better than last year, so I'm happy with that. Year 2 is and was no sophomore slump. By the time we get into February, which will be our 2-year mark, I'm looking to be fully cranking on the business. But with that, I'm gonna do this PSA order, and hopefully there was some tidbits in here that helped. Like I said, more videos and just more information. If you got comments, questions, or you have a topic you want me to cover, put it in the comments section here in the video. And a series I'm going to start doing is card of the day. So I'm going to find a card, like let's just say it's this cool Willie Mays on-card autograph that Tom pulled when me and Tom were in the shop out of a random $13 hanger box. I'm going to break down some info about the card, why the card's important, maybe it's why the player's important, and just add some more production value, like more story time. You can consider at least these Friday, or however frequently I do these videos, to be just some insights into the week, and maybe you'll learn a thing or two if you're a fellow business owner or shop owner. But taking business ownership in the sports card world and kind of putting them together and just giving you some free game. Take it, leave it, love it, hate it. I'm putting it out there regardless. So that's Friday for me, calling it 7:43 p.m. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.